Have you ever wondered how essential communication skills are in your daily life? Imagine navigating your day without them. It's like trying to sail a ship without a compass. At work, communication skills help you to express your ideas clearly, collaborate effectively with your team, and build strong relationships with clients and colleagues. In your personal life, these skills allow you to express your feelings and thoughts, understand others, and foster deeper connections with your family and friends. And in social situations, they enable you to engage in meaningful conversations, broaden your network, and create a positive impact. But what happens when communication breaks down? Misunderstandings, confusion, frustration, poor communication can lead to conflicts, hinder progress, and strain relationships. It's like trying to assemble a puzzle with missing pieces. Without effective communication, even the simplest tasks can become complicated. So let's dive deeper and explore how we can boost our communication skills. Now let's delve into the 5 rules of Palo Alto that can help you enhance your communication skills. These rules aren't your run-of-the-mill directives. Instead, they're behavioral guidelines that have been formulated to improve the way we interact and communicate with one another. The first rule is that one cannot not communicate. Sounds a bit odd, right? But it's true. Every action or inaction, every word spoken or left unsaid communicates something. It's about our nonverbal cues as much as our verbal ones. The second rule states, every communication has a content and relationship aspect. This means that when we communicate, we're not just sharing information. We're also defining or redefining our relationship with the person we're communicating with. It's about context as much as content. The third rule is, the nature of a relationship is dependent on the punctuation of the partner's communication procedures. In simpler terms, it's about understanding that communication is a two-way street. How we respond to someone often depends on how they've communicated with us in the past. The fourth rule is human communication involves both digital and analogic modalities. Digital communication is about the words we use, while analogic communication involves nonverbal cues like tone, facial expression, and body language. The final rule is communication is either symmetrical or complementary. Symmetrical communication is when the power dynamic is equal between the communicators. On the other hand, complementary communication involves one person leading and the other following. So why are these rules important? Well, understanding them helps us become more mindful of our communication patterns. We can then adjust these patterns to better suit our relationships, both personal and professional. It's not just about what we say, but how, when, and why we say it. Mastering these rules can significantly improve your communication abilities. They provide a framework for understanding the complexities of human interaction and the role communication plays in shaping our relationships. So, the next time you're having a conversation, try to keep these rules in mind. You might be surprised at the difference they make. Communication is not just about words. It also involves nonverbal cues. You see, communication, in its most basic form, is the process of transmitting information from one person to another. But it's not all about the spoken or written words. It's like a beautiful dance of verbal and nonverbal cues, both playing crucial roles in conveying our thoughts, feelings, and intentions. Let's take a deeper look. Verbal communication is what most people think of when they hear the term communication. It involves the use of words, spoken or written, to share information with others. It's the tool we use to express our thoughts, ideas, and feelings. It's what we use to instruct, to question, to share our stories. It's the words we choose, the tone we adopt, and the volume and pace at which we speak. But here's the thing, verbal communication is just one side of the coin. Flip it over and you'll find nonverbal communication. Nonverbal cues are the silent signals that we send unconsciously, sometimes even without realizing it. They include our body language, facial expressions, posture, hand gestures, eye contact, and even the pauses between our words. These cues can often speak louder than our words, revealing our true feelings and intentions. Now, why are both forms of communication important, you ask? Well, imagine trying to tell a funny joke without changing your tone of voice or facial expression. It probably wouldn't land as well, right? That's because our words and nonverbal cues work together to deliver our message effectively. They complement each other, creating a full picture of our intentions and emotions. So next time you're in a conversation, be aware not just of the words you're using, but also how you're saying them. Pay attention to your body language, your facial expressions, and your tone of voice. Are they aligned with the message you're trying to convey? Remember, your body language and tone of voice can say as much, if not more, than your words. Improving your communication skills is not an overnight task, but there are techniques you can use to speed up the process. Let's dive right in. First up in our toolbox of techniques is practicing good posture. This may seem simple, but it's a fundamental part of nonverbal communication. Standing or sitting up straight conveys confidence and shows that you're engaged in the conversation. Slouching, on the other hand, can give off an impression of disinterest or laziness. So remember to keep your back straight, shoulders back, and chin up. Next, we have maintaining eye contact. This is a powerful way to establish a connection with the person you're communicating with. However, remember that there's a fine line between maintaining eye contact and staring. The key is to look into the person's eyes in a relaxed and natural way, showing that you're genuinely interested in what they're saying. Moving on, let's talk about using a confident voice. Your tone of voice can greatly influence how your message is received. Speaking in a monotone can make your audience lose interest quickly, while a confident and varied tone can keep them engaged. Practice speaking clearly and at a moderate pace. Remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Now let's not forget about the importance of body language. It's an essential part of nonverbal communication, and it speaks volumes about your attitude and emotions. Be aware of your gestures, facial expressions, and movements. They should be congruent with your words. If they're not, your message could be misunderstood. Lastly, practice makes perfect. The more you use these techniques, the more natural they will become. And don't forget, communication is a two-way street. It's not just about how well you speak, but also how well you listen and respond to others. With consistent practice, these techniques can lead to significant improvements in your communication skills. Listening is just as crucial as speaking in communication. This is a fundamental truth we often overlook. Have you ever considered the power of active listening? Active listening is not merely hearing the words someone says. It's about fully engaging, understanding the message, and responding thoughtfully. It's about reading between the lines, interpreting the unspoken words, the emotions, and the thoughts behind the spoken words. Imagine yourself in a conversation where you're not just waiting for your turn to speak, but you're genuinely interested in understanding the other person's viewpoint. That's active listening in action. This skill can transform your conversations, making them more fruitful and meaningful. It can build trust, foster better understanding, and lead to productive outcomes. It's a vital tool in both personal and professional communication, helping to resolve conflicts and build stronger relationships. Active listening can help you understand others better and respond more effectively. Embrace this power and see the difference it can make in your communication. Improving your active listening skills can be a game changer in your communication journey. Often, we fall into the trap of passive listening, where we hear the words but don't fully engage with the message. Active listening, on the other hand, involves being fully present, focused, and responsive, ensuring that the speaker feels heard and understood. Now, how can we enhance our active listening skills? Let's delve into some effective techniques. Firstly, avoid interruptions. We all have that urge to jump in with our thoughts or advice, but it's crucial to curb this impulse. By allowing the speaker to finish their point without interruption, we foster an environment of respect and understanding. So hold your peace and let them have the floor. Next, show empathy. Empathy is about understanding and sharing the feelings of others. When we listen with empathy, we don't just hear the words, we also pick up on the emotions behind them. This deep level of understanding can build stronger, more meaningful connections. Another technique is to provide feedback. This doesn't mean offering advice or solutions, but rather reflecting back what you've understood. A simple "so what you're saying is," or "it sounds like you feel," can confirm that you're on the same page. This reflective listening can clarify misinterpretations and show the speaker that you are indeed paying attention. Remember to maintain eye contact and use nonverbal cues like nodding or leaning in to show your engagement. These subtle actions can communicate your interest and attentiveness more than words often can. Finally, practice patience. Active listening is not about rushing to a response, but taking the time to truly understand the speaker's perspective. So slow down and give the conversation the time it deserves. Active listening is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice to master. So be patient with yourself as you implement these techniques. Remember, the goal is not to be a perfect listener, but a better one. By honing your active listening skills, you can significantly boost your overall communication capabilities.